Terrific Tuesday, everybody. We are back. It's this guy, Sammy the Man McIntyre with Moving the Chains podcast. We are back. We are rocking. We are rolling. I gave you guys a sneak preview yesterday on yesterday's pod about what I was going to talk about today. We got to dive into those two big blockbuster trades yesterday. I mean, those were mind-blowing. So many thoughts that I had throughout the day yesterday and then today. So, as we all know, on June 1st, 2026, that was yesterday. Crazy, it's June already. I saw a tweet Adam Schefter put out. 2 blockbuster trades that included 3 players, 12 Pro Bowl selections, and 5 draft picks, including 2 first-rounders, which is the Browns, getting Garrett, and I'll touch on that in a minute. But the biggest news of the day was that trade with Myles Garrett. And my first takeaway was Rams Super Bowl. Now, my dad was like, well, do they really need him? Did they need Myles Garrett? No, but they got him. And the F them picks motto, it's working for the Rams. You know, oh, it's not fair, it's not fair. Yeah, life's not fair. Get over it. Stop being a whiny little grump. Okay, you either adapt or die. That's how it is. And the Rams, they're pushing their chips to the middle of the table and going over the top. And I appreciate that. They're having ruthless aggression. And they are. So, I do think the Rams, this puts them on. Listen, they were already a Super Bowl team last year. Second best team in football, Chris Sims pointed out, and I don't disagree with them. This puts them at the top. I mean, who in the AFC is competing with this? Because I can't even, I mean, maybe Philly, but I got question marks about the Eagles. And I'll touch on the A.J. Brown trade in a second, but I just look at the Rams. Let's go. Like, this is all in mode now. Stafford's getting older. He's kind of year by year. You don't know is he going to play? Is he not? So the Rams are in this space right now, in this bubble. You take advantage of it, and you go all in. And they got some kahunas doing what they're doing. So I'm blown away. And I can't believe all the Rams got was just Myles Garrett, and they gave up a 20. So the Browns, in exchange, got Jared Verse, who's a very good player. Pro Bowl player, first years in the league. A 2027 first-round pick, a 2028 second-round pick, and a 2029 third-round pick. Wow. And I want to touch on both sides of this with the Browns and the Rams. The Browns were in a weird spot. I still don't love the fact that Todd Monken didn't even talk, didn't even communicate with Myles Garrett. He's your best player. And you didn't have communication with them? That's kind of sketchy. But that's the Browns, and that's whatever. The second part of this is the Browns come off, and I know the media loves these Ivy League guys and Quessy and all this stuff. Like, they do a lot of shady stuff, the Browns, drafting players. It almost feels like Portland Jailblazers to me instead of Trailblazers, which, by the way, you guys want to watch a documentary Untold, go watch that. My mind was like, whoa, craziness. But back to my original point with the Rams and the Browns. I think Cleveland, listen, they're resetting. But Cleveland's in this spot because they're desperate. Louis Riddick talked about it with Dan Patrick today, and I love Louis Riddick to death. I think he's one of the smartest people. I always try and get any knowledge from him. He was in the front offices, played in the league for a long time. But I just think the Browns, from their perspective, they're going to rebuild. They might wave the white flag and try and tank for Arch Manning. I don't know. I just think if I'm the Browns, you get a quarterback. That quarterback better have a big arm. That quarterback better be tough-skinned. Because it's going to get cold in Cleveland. It's going to be not great weather. You're playing in the cold outdoors. So you can't have a weak arm quarterback. And I'm not saying Arch doesn't. A lot of people are linking that Arch man. We got a long way to go. But I'm going to be fascinated what the Browns do. Because there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks coming out next year. Now, whether they plan out and play well, I'm pulling for my guy, Lenore's big play sellers from South Carolina. But I do think it's going to be fascinating what the Browns do with those picks because they got all this ammunition now. Now what are you going to do with it? Are you going to take advantage of it, or are you just going to sit back and wait? So it's going to be very fascinating what happens with that Browns-Rams trade. Because the Rams, They already got a motto. It's called All In, F Them Picks, We're Going. And the first person I thought of was Noah Leasing, who's the biggest, Rams fan I know. And I'm over the moon. I mean, if I'm the Niners, I'm Kyle Shanahan going crying in my office, hiding. Because you had Aaron Donald dominate and kick your ass for about 10 years. You got this guy coming to wreak havoc for a couple years. Watch out. So, I was blown away. The Rams got Myles Garrett. This is what happens when you got an owner. And my first thought today, when I was thinking about that at work today, was, wow, imagine if the Packers had an owner. Now, it's benefited them. They've had 30 years of success. But having an owner kind of helps when you need moves like this. To push your chips in the middle of the table. To go all in. Hey, let's go get a Reggie White. Let's go. And I know Green Bay's not a free agent destination. I got all that. But you got to push your chips in the middle of the table, man. And the Rams are doing it. They're saying, all right, we're going to do this for Matt Stafford. We're going to go all in. Let's push your chips in the middle of the table. Let's try and win right now. And they're doing it. I feel like this is going to be like the 2021 season where they did win the Super Bowl in SoFi, in Los Angeles. And do you smell what the Rams are cooking? Because the Rams are cooking something really good out in L.A. So the second trade I wanted to touch on was A.J. Brown goes from Philadelphia to New England. This was inevitable. I knew it. Everybody and their grandma knew it. This was going to happen, which way or the other. And A.J. Brown, the last couple years, you kind of just felt him and Jalen Hurts didn't get along. Now, he's loved in the locker room. Louis Riddick, did a bunch of Eagle games. He knows it firsthand. He's like, they love A.J. Brown. They love him. And he's a good guy. I think A.J. Brown, he's emotional. Like most receivers that I've watched my entire life, they are. But I think A.J. Brown's thing was like, just give me the ball, dude. Like, they're a run-heavy offense. And what's crazy about A.J. Brown, I saw these numbers today. That just blew my mind. Like, that since he's been in the league 2019, he's got 1,000 yards a bunch of times. When they traded, Vrabel was in Tennessee with, when they traded A.J. Brown, he was besides himself. And I think that's kind of when the Titans Vrabel thing kind of spiraled and went kind of downhill and obviously led him to get fired by the Struck or whatever, the Amy Starstruck or whatever the hell her name was with the Titans and that brass. But my point is now, the Patriots are in business now. Like, the Patriots now bolster their receiving core, which was very weak last year. Now it's time. Now it's time for Drake May to take that step because you got weapons now. You got a bunch of young cats, too. You got Travion Henderson from Ohio State, absolute dog, great pass protection, one of the best pass protecting backs that come out of this draft in a long time. Probably go back to Zeke before Zeke obviously fell off a cliff. I just look at that from that perspective. You got Ryan Williams, the Washington State kid. New England's got a lot of toys now. Now, the big loser in this is Kayshon Boutte, who was their number one receiver last year. He's kind of moved out the way. Get out the way, kid. Because they added Romeo Dobbs. They have trying to think, who's the receiver they added? I'm losing my thought here, but they added Romeo Dobbs. They have Hunter Henry. They still have Matt Collins, who's a decent whatever. Still a weirdo, walks around barefoot. Be that as it may. Maybe I'm being weird. I don't know. Crazy. That's why I go to therapy sometimes. It's a joke. But I think New England now, with A.J. Brown, and there's a history with this. Josh McDaniels, the minute you get a star receiver, veteran guy in that system, it's paid dividends. Devontae Adams, 2022, 14 touchdowns, almost 1,500 yards. Randy Moss, 23 touchdowns. Wes Welker, 9 that year. That was the 07. They had the graphic today on Get Up. It was the two receivers from that 16-0 team. Brady, Moss, Welker, those two, 23 and 9. I think they combined for 34 touchdowns between the two of them. I mean, that was a remarkable offensive just explosion that year. So you have that, and then you add A.J. Brown in the mix. Okay, now you're playing with fire. Now you can do some things, and it's going to free up a lot of people. It's going to make they're going to have to cheat down in the box because you're going to have to, you're going to throw over the top stuff. Probably keep safeties in the ballpark is what they're kind of running. The coverages now in the league. So I do think this is a big move for New England. It puts them, I think, to win the division. I'll do my predictions down the road. Same with the Rams and Cleveland, obviously. Not there yet. We got a long way to go, but I will touch on those divisions and what I think is going to happen. But at the moment, both teams won this trade. I would say the same thing for the Rams. Both teams won this trade. The Rams got Myles Garrett, first ballot Hall of Famer. That's going to help them win now, push this chips to the middle of the table, go over the top, try and win a Super Bowl for Matt Stafford, and get them the 2 rings so we can fall in that category and get that big boy table. And then, for the Browns, you're rebuilding. You're starting at ground zero. You got to get a quarterback. There's some pieces there. Your draft class has been nice the last 2 years. Build it all up and get this thing rocking and rolling in Cleveland, where the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame resigns. And then, so that was my take on that. And then, what I'm talking about right now is Patriots, Eagles. Both teams won this trade. Okay, Philadelphia needed to get off from the A.J. Brown thing. It was just getting toxic. It was getting weird. I mean, after they won the Super Bowl, it should have been done. They should have traded him. It should have been there, done that. Bye-bye, Godspeed. That should have what happened. But they kind of hung on, and, they were trying to mend it. But I saw Jordan Mailata just posted a comment. He said, thank God it's over. I kind of think that's what Philly is. I think Philly's kind of glad it's over. And both these teams won, okay? Philadelphia added Dontavian Wicks. Eli Stowers like a Mackey winner from Vanderbilt. He's like a big receiver. Mekhi Lemon, Devontae Smith. They've got a cupboard of receivers and backs there, capable tight ends. So it's up to Jalen Hurts. He's got to be able to adapt and adjust in this Sean McVay, Sean Mannion type of system. It's going to be fascinating because the comments coming out of Philadelphia are he's not adapted to change. He's kind of a dick, kind of a douche. So you got some stuff kind of going on with Jalen Hurts. But if he can do it, then he can. I'm not the biggest fan. I think A.J. Brown obviously upgraded today to an elite pocket passer. I'm not saying Drake May is yet, but he's on that tier that he could be a really good pocket passer with mobility, okay? Because he hasn't had that in his career. He's been on a lot of run-heavy teams, which is still astonishing me. He's putting up 1,000 yards, almost 1,500, with like 1,400 when they're always running the ball, right? Kind of feels like Michael Irvin when he was with the Cowboys in their prime, in that dynasty in the mid-'90s. So this is why the NFL's king. The NBA is trying to be like the NFL. They keep politics out of it. They keep all this other nonsense out. Hey, did you hear about the big blockbuster trade? Hey, what'd they give up? It's easy to follow, easy to comprehend. So that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys are doing well. Bonkers day yesterday. Man, a lot to dive into, a lot to talk about. But that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys are doing well. Terrific Tuesday. Adios. Godspeed.